Welcome to Behind the Bower, a new podcast where we'll talk all things arts and culture and the impact having a creative outlet can have on your local community through connections, collaborations, and much more. So, I'm Susan Martin, the Executive Director of Bower Center for the Arts, and I'm very excited to be able to share all things arts and culture, but also what's going on in our community and what kind of impact arts and culture has on our community and how we collaborate with others and what we can bring to the citizens of Bedford and beyond. And today my guest is Denny Huff, and he's the executive director of the Bedford Community Health Foundation, and he's also the board president of Bower Center for the Arts. Welcome, Denny.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Denny, tell us first a little bit about the Bedford Community Health Foundation.
Sure. Bedford Community Health Foundation has been a fixture in Bedford since the sale of the original hospital back in the 80s. And what we try to do is provide grant funding to nonprofit organizations that provide health-related services to our community. We do that working with local nonprofits as well as nonprofits that may be out of Lynchburg or Roanoke that have a catchment area here. We also provide scholarships to Bedford residents that are seeking training or certifications or degrees in health-related fields in the hope that they come back and serve our community. We also like to look at community health issues, the social determinants of health, housing, transportation, all of those things that aren't necessarily band-aids and medications, but things that are important and make sure that we have a healthy, vibrant community. And that's also where arts and culture comes in making sure that we have a community that is whole and complete and that there's access for everyone, whether it be culture, art, health, education, transportation, whatever it is. We want to make sure Bedford is a place where everyone has access.
Yeah, I can't agree more. It's interesting that you mentioned that about the arts and that there is research out there that shows that the arts can enhance coping mechanisms, reduces anxiety, stress, depression, increases self-esteem, and just improves your overall quality of life, which is so extremely important in our community and also not only throughout the year, but I think even more so during this time of year as well.
Absolutely. Art gives you so much in terms of giving back to the community. It gives people a sense of belonging when they come in and are experiencing certain types of art and they feel like, this is really speaking to me, right?
Right.
And so that's wonderful. And then, on the drive over here today, I happened to see the Harmony bus in the parking lot again, and that's just one of the wonderful partnerships the Bower Center has, and bringing the clients and folks from Harmony Day Support to the Bower Center for activities. And I know it's just I know how wonderful they feel when they're done with it, and what a great time they have. So that's another way of outreach for art and making sure that art as a healing component of our community.
Absolutely. That is one of it's our favorite days of the week when we have our guests from Harmony Day Support Center and also the Centra Day Support Center here in Bedford. Currently, they're coming about every other week, and the individuals do, have some sort of disability, and we love working with them because it just exposes them to an opportunity that they might not otherwise have. And the way that they express themselves is just amazing. So we're very happy that we've started that program, and by generous support through some grants that can support the programming, the supplies, and things like that, we have been able to expand that programming, and we hope to expand it even more and be able to support other organizations like those two organizations in the future.
Yeah, and I know it's uplifting to both you and the volunteers and staff that work with them. The joy that they experience and that they share with you is something that helps drive you forward and drive the staff and volunteers forward in terms of this is a good purpose. This is something that we enjoy doing, and it's just it's a symbiotic relationship. Arts is always sort of this symbiotic relationship when the people come and they tell you what they experience and how it makes them feel, that's uplifting for you as well, I would imagine, at the center.
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. And we were just talking a little bit about how it, gives back to the community. And during this time of giving, it just so happens that today is Giving Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
And just to tell our listeners a little bit about that, this is a movement that started back in 2012, actually. And it's simply a day that encourages people to do good in their community. It's a global movement, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a monetary donation. It can be volunteer support. It can be going out and spreading the good word about your favorite nonprofit organization. But in general, it is just one day where we hope that members of our community across the country and around the world will take this opportunity to give back and support a local nonprofit organization.
Yeah, absolutely. The funds are critical for nonprofit organizations, not just the Bauer Center, but all nonprofit organizations having access to unencumbered dollars that they can use to run their organizations. It becomes difficult. But you mentioned volunteerism there as well, and how important that is, and what an experience it can be. And I encourage everyone to find an organization to volunteer with. The Bauer Center is a great place to start, I would say, just because of the events and the culture and the variety and diversity of what comes through there.
Mhm.
And so that's a great way for people to get engaged in their community and find their place. If it's not the Bauer Center will lead you to yet another volunteer experience.
Absolutely.
So, it's just a matter of becoming involved in the community and being a good community member.
Yes, and you mentioned the volunteer opportunities, and at Bauer Center for the Arts, they're pretty much endless. If you like working with individuals, whether it be youth, adults, those with special needs, we have opportunities for volunteers to work in that capacity. If you don't feel like you have the experience or the ability to work directly with individuals, you can come in and participate in one of our events, work our concessions or the ticket box office for our concerts and performances. We have a lot of different opportunities. We're always looking if anybody would like to come in and be trained on being a gallery docent. We'd love to have more volunteers that can learn more about the art exhibits that we have at the time. That if we open up to certain hours where guests can come in and take actually guided tours, we give those as staff now, but we'd love to build a volunteer base that could offer those opportunities so individuals could learn more in depth about the art exhibits that are taking place, but also the history of the Bauer Center and what's going on inside the Bauer Center as well.
Yeah, and then they become ambassadors in the community
Absolutely.
for art and culture and all things art and
Oh, the
culture.
train. Just a little break there
Yeah.
to let the train whistle go by.
Welcome to Bedford, though.
There you go.
That's us.
But it does give them opportunities to share their stories, engage with others, become, like you said, sort of advocates for the organization. We hope that then they'll be an ambassador and go out and talk about what our organization can do for them, the community, and others. And it just is. It's extremely powerful to have those folks that are out there and talking about not only the Bauer Center for the Arts, but the other organizations that they may be volunteering for, because being an ambassador is one of the number one most important things that
Yeah.
we look for in a volunteer.
Well, it really is. I mean, that's how most of us learn about what's going on in our communities, right? Is from someone else.
Right,
I mean,
right. Yes.
we may hear it on the news or something, but that's rare. Most of the time, it's someone going, "Hey, have you heard what's happening at the Bauer Center?" Or "I went to this event at the Bauer Center and it was wonderful." So having those folks come through as volunteers and then become patrons and ambassadors, it's wonderful to see.
Yes, word of mouth marketing is priceless.
Yes,
It definitely
it is.
is. Kind of going back around to Giving Tuesday and today. Giving Tuesday, it talks about that it's just inspiring generosity in our community and kindness, and it's having an impact in your community. And while it's important again that all nonprofit organizations need monetary contributions to help, for the Bauer Center in general, more specifically to help keep our doors open, to
Yeah.
be honest. It's extremely important to tell the stories of things that have inspired you, maybe, or from a nonprofit organization that you may have participated in and something that has inspired you. Can you tell us anything related to any of the organizations that the Bedford Community Health Foundation may have supported? Any inspiring stories, or a little bit about any of the organizations, and based on what they do to give back to the community?
Sure, absolutely. We fund some wonderful organizations in Bedford. Bedford is full of wonderful organizations, and I'll just pick on a few here, not to diminish anyone that I leave out because there
Absolutely.
are so many. But one of the first ones that comes to mind for me, and the impact that they have on individual lives, which then turns into the community, obviously, is Brook Hill Farm,
Hmm.
and the work that they do with at-risk youth is amazing. Their outcomes are wonderful. 100% graduation rates out of high school. Most go to post-secondary. All of the services that they need, from education to counseling, are on site, and so just a wonderful organization there. Then you talk about maybe the other side of the county, and you have a Lake Christian Ministry who does so many things, from clothes closets, food pantries, their New Tomorrows program, working with folks in poverty and trying to help them navigate that and work themselves out of poverty. That's one of the wonderful things. We've had some partnerships with the Bauer Center for some of the summer camps to help support the summer camps for the kids that come there, and the impact that that has for those families as well. I mean, when the kids have an opportunity to go out, be creative, expend their energy, learn new things, they bring that home.
Absolutely.
We focused, I think, on art and nutrition one
Hmm.
year.
Yes.
And, some of the feedback we got from parents was wonderful, that their kids are now eating something different
Right.
because now they're looking at it
Right.
differently.
Right.
And so, there's so many ways that the nonprofits impact our community that we just don't know. If we didn't have them, if we didn't have the Bedford Community Christmas Station, if we
Hmm.
didn't have the Bauer Center or Brook Hill Farm, Lake Christian Ministries, there's just so many that are here that support everything that goes on in our community. So I would encourage everyone to get to know the nonprofits that serve this community.
Yes. And there's several ways, I believe. Does your website list some of the organizations that you all have supported over the years?
It does.
Hmm.
It'll list them certainly through our annual reports and then our grant funding reports that are out there for
Right, right.
sure.
There's a larger regional organization that you can search, and that's Share Greater Lynchburg, and that serves our entire region. And it is an opportunity for nonprofit organizations to post their information on the Share Greater Lynchburg website. It connects them back to that individual organization. It allows us to promote our volunteer opportunities, how you can support the organization, and what the organization's mission is, which is a great resource for individuals if they're just looking to find out what the nonprofit organizations are out there in our communities, and also how they can get involved, or how they can take advantage of those organizations, and what services they may provide.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of available services and programs and things like that. But the other piece that we're starting to see are the collaborative efforts between nonprofits.
Yes.
The beautiful collaboration between Harmony
Mm-hmm.
and the Bauer Center
Mm-hmm.
just speaks. And the Bauer has several, whether it's the World School, and I may be
Mm-hmm. The
mispronouncing that,
Montessori
the
School.
Montessori
Mm-hmm.
School, and the homeschoolers, and some of these other folks, where collaboration is the key to survival. It's the key
Absolutely.
to growth. And it's the collaboration brings everyone together and then gives a new perspective. So
Yes.
you drop your silo at the door, and then you become open to new ideas and newer ways to do things, and you see innovation come out of that.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how these wonderful partnerships come to be.
Yes, we've actually, Bauer Center for the Arts has also collaborated with Brook Hill Farm in the past, and we're actually working on some new collaborative opportunities for next year, where we have taken art programming to the farm to work with the students that they serve. because we think, again, that it's important that they have a well rounded opportunity, and that there's, opportunities out there to utilize the arts.
And it's a
Experience.
healing
It
way
is a
to
very
express
healing.
yourself.
Yes.
When you're working with at-risk youth that have trouble expressing themselves appropriately sometimes or at all,
Right.
art is a fantastic way for them to be able to express themselves, to express their emotions, their fears, and those kinds of things. So, again, art just playing another role in our community and making sure that people are well rounded and have, again, it's all about the resources that people have at their fingertips for
hmm
them to take advantage of.
Right. And I think extremely important for individuals in our community to know that when they do give back to an organization, whether it be a monetary donation or volunteering, they're not only supporting typically that organization, it may be supporting multiple organizations because of the collaborative efforts that are taking place.
Absolutely. One of everything's a ripple effect.
hmm
I've been in nonprofits for almost 30 years of my whole career. And what you see is when you help an individual, you're not just helping that individual, you help that family. And when you help that family, you're helping a neighborhood, a community, and then it just broadens out from that. So, it is this self sustaining, self growing, self perpetuating thing that when we start engaging in our community, that good things happen.
Right, right. Yes. Yes. And engagement, that is number one. COVID put a lot of, it hurt a lot of nonprofit organizations, especially things like Bauer Center for the Arts, where you rely on individuals to come into your facility to take advantage of your services. And I think it had an impact on a lot of organizations in that respect, and businesses for that matter. We're still coming out of that from our standpoint, as a nonprofit organization, even though we're looking about 2 years out. It's
Mhm.
still having an impact on our organization because individuals took that time during COVID to find other ways for an arts and entertainment standpoint to get their arts and entertainment through other ways that didn't necessarily mean leaving the house,
Right.
or going into a facility where there might be large crowds. So we're still working on finding new ways to attract folks to come and take advantage and experience the arts opportunities that we offer, but also make them feel comfortable and safe to come out and participate. So, definitely engagement and getting people
Yeah.
out to engage and connect again is still an ongoing. Um,
Yeah. COVID was like a national natural disaster,
yes,
right? We're used to long-term recoveries through hurricanes and tornadoes for, very specific geographic regions, but the pandemic was really a natural disaster for the globally. But certainly, when we bring it a little closer to home, these things take long-term recovery to get through.
right.
And all organizations are still going through that and still struggling. So, yes, again, the encouragement to get everyone involved, to give back in any way that you can, financially, with time, treasure, whatever it is that you have available to you, expertise.
I was just going to
Um,
say that.
yeah, nonprofits thrive on expertise. If you can't be a board member, but you're interested in something that an organization is doing, I can guarantee you they're happy to take your call. They'd be happy to meet with you. They would love any advice, expertise that you may have that you feel like could help that organization.
Right.
Very important.
Yes, extremely important. We're always looking for individuals with any expertise, whether it be something related to our facility, building and maintenance. All organizations, especially that are brick and mortar, need assistance with just helping to keep things up and running. And obviously, we're always looking for individuals that have some sort of expertise. It can be related to arts. It could be related, anything art related, not just actually painting, drawing, that type
Right.
of thing. It could be creative writing. It could be, we offer healing arts. So we do yoga and music. So we're always looking for individuals that might want to come in and offer something different for our community to expose them to opportunities that we offer. Just like you were talking about the healthy cooking, we we do the art of health. We do the art of cooking. We're always looking for individuals for new and unique ways to expose the youth and adults in our community to those opportunities.
Yeah, and I think it's important to incorporate those things in almost everything that we do, right? And
Hmm.
it's sort of this holistic approach, whether it's art and health, health and education, all of these things. You mix them together and you get more out of it. It becomes more meaningful. It becomes a higher calling for a lot of people that they don't realize. Oh wow, the impact that I'm making! I didn't realize that my ideas, my background in this, which is not necessarily arts, is actually helping an art center, whether it's through, you know, programming, finance, whatever the case
Right.
may be. People have so much knowledge, and if they would just share it, we would all benefit.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, as we're wrapping things up, I want to remind everybody that it is Giving Tuesday. So
Give.
please give. Give of your time, talents, financial opportunities. Look for those nonprofits that are near and dear to your heart that you would like to give back to. Please support those. And a few reminders of some things that are going on at Bauer Center for the Arts and in our community. As a reminder, we have both the Christmas parade this weekend on Saturday. I believe it starts at 11. And then we also have the tree lighting ceremony that evening, which I think runs from like 3 to 6 p.m. At Centertown. And Bauer Center for the Arts will be there with a booth, and we'll be selling hot apple cider, and we'll have some art activities for families to pick up as well. And then we're wrapping up our year. We have one workshop available next Wednesday, December 6th. It's a needle felting ornament workshop.
Hmm.
We had one back before Thanksgiving that was very well received, and it's a lot of fun. You're actually going to be needle felting your own little sheep ornament for your Christmas tree. And then we're currently in the middle of 2 new art exhibitions, and the reception for those 2 art exhibitions is Friday, December the 8th from 5 to 7. It's free and open to the public. Light refreshments are always served. We'll have some family-friendly craft activities if you want to bring the kids, and you get to meet the artists that currently have exhibits at the Bauer Center.
What a great way to be
Yeah,
introduced to the Bauer
yes. And it's a
Center.
wonderful exhibit in that one of them is our Emerging Artist, which is a residency program that we offer each year for a young up and coming artist. So Dennis Caldwell, come by and see his exhibit and the work that he's been working on this year during
Yeah, it's
his
great.
residency. And then we're wrapping up our season with our final performance on December the 9th, which is a one-man show by John Hardy, and he's going to be doing Dickens' A Christmas Carol. We hosted him a couple of years ago. It is an amazing show to watch this gentleman play all of the characters of Dickens' A Christmas Carol. I'm actually offering a discount right now. So if you use promo code Holly Jolly,
Holly Jolly.
Holly Jolly in all caps, when registering online, you'll get a $5 discount off of our $15 ticket price. So, and that'll be good from now until the performance. So take advantage of that and come out and enjoy a final performance at Bauer Center for the Arts.
That's an amazing deal and an amazing way to round out the year, too, as the
Absolutely.
Dickens of a Christmas.
Yeah. So I want to thank Denny for joining me today.
Thank you.
And for everyone for listening. And I hope that you'll join us again and find out what's going on behind the Bauer.
Yes, thank you.
You.